Yeah, so I came to Perth about 5 or 6 years ago now to begin the Ministry of Power to Change on the campuses out there in Perth. And we actually began with a small team. I had a colleague, his name was Josh, and he was from Townsville. And then we had some Americans who are partnering with us from Power to Change over in the USA. So Annetta was a girl I met through my local church, and she came along to one of our summer projects. I remember taking her out for coffee one day and just sharing about the vision of making it impossible for all of the students in WA to graduate without hearing the gospel. And Annetta thought that sounded interesting and thought our group was at least worth checking out once. And so she came along to a summer project all the way over to Sydney, actually, in the northern beaches of Sydney. But while she was there, she just caught this vision for what we were trying to do and for outreach and for discipleship. She came back from the summer project to the Central Coast, and she sort of gave her boyfriend an ultimatum. She said, "David, you've got to get involved in this group, Power to Change." And so then her boyfriend, David, he has this Korean background, he starts coming along to all of our activities. And 12 months later, he went on that same summer project to the Central Coast or to the northern beaches of Sydney. And I think that was probably part of him catching the vision for reaching students for Christ as well. As I look around at our team meetings, we've also got a girl called Nicole, and Nicole was already involved when I first moved over to Perth. So she was this kind of shy UWA student who was studying a bit of physics and a bit of Japanese, and I think because of her shyness, she was almost the dark horse or the candidate least likely. But she went on an overseas trip to Japan, and that was huge for her because she was studying Japanese and she'd actually grown up in Japan. And so while she was in Japan, she saw just some of the thirst and hunger for the gospel and some of the scarcity of resources. She came back with a real global heart and a desire to go back once she graduated to Japan. And so she became our first, from Perth, our first international worker. Yeah, I just find it really special to sit back and at our team meetings and look around. Because of COVID, we no longer have that US partnership, but I look around and see that God, in his graciousness and his kindness, has raised this team up. Annetta's sort of Malaysian Chinese background. David is Korean background. I mean, they're still very Australian, but they have this background. And Nicole, she's grown up in lots of different countries, but she has this South African background. And so we think about Perth and even WA, students from all around the world coming to study here. And I get to serve on this sort of United Nations type team, or team of people of different backgrounds, different strengths, and we're all working together for the cause of Jesus and to proclaim the gospel and make disciples. And so, yeah, it's been a blessing to be a part of that, and it's fun to serve with them.